Hey, welcome to Aaron's Christmas Con 2020. There's been minutes of preparation put into this. I think you'll really be amazed at the production values. Now, I know that in about an hour, I'm going up head to head against Mariah Carey, but I can guarantee you that her show is not going to look anything like this. I mean, that I can guarantee you. I want you to notice I am totally prepared. Huh? Grinch better have my presents. Yeah. All right. Humphrey Bear's here. First one in the door. Welcome. You can see I hang. Look at that. I got beads, like Christmas baubles hanging on my banners. I've got a Christmas hat on. I got a Grinch shirt. It can only be Aaron's Christmas Con 2020. So what are we going to do tonight? Well, we're going to do a lot of things. I've got a table I want to show you. I got some art I want to put up for sale. I've got a preview of some stuff I'm working on that is down the line a little bit, but not too far down the line that I can't share a little bit of it with you. Let's see. The people are rolling in. Stephen Ing's here. Hyper Potato, of course. Angelo's here. Nighthawk Warrior is here. I am good. Thanks for asking. Yeah. We're live. We're live. Draw the Grinch. I drew the Grinch last night. You're going to have to go watch that video if you want to see me draw the Grinch, because I'm not drawing the Grinch tonight. I am drawing Iron Man, though, so that'll be a first, at least in a sketchbook. Now, my wife was going to help me out a little bit tonight, but she's taking a nap. She was at the doctor, got some shots, for rabies and things like that. Now, of course, I'm joking for headaches, and the dog is running wild, so it could just get totally chaotic in about 5 minutes, but we're going to hope for the best. All right, the eyes are rolling in, so let's... Paul joined us. Hey, Paul, good to see you. You'd think I'd prepare something before I came on live like this, but no, nothing. I didn't write any script. I got nothing. So let's just get to the table and see what's happening over Christmas Con. Now, some of this stuff will seem familiar to you. Look at that Christmas lights. Look at that. Again, massive production value. Look at this guy right here. I got a little snowman by the Sketchbooks. Now that is Christmas cool if I ever saw it. Please disregard the mess behind the table. Okay, so let's start off with the usual. Now, Paul was hoping, I know, Paul, you were hoping for some new prints this holiday season. It didn't happen because I got my focus on something else, which I'll show you in a minute. But I do still have the old standards here. And I got to say that if you're looking for a cheap Christmas gift for somebody that feels expensive, get them a signed and numbered limited edition print. Free shipping, by the way, this weekend only, because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm here to help you. And I'm also here to find the right banner to scroll with all my pertinent information. Oh, wait a minute. We don't want to see that. What else we got here? Oh, look at that. How about that? Sketchbooks preset. Christmas Con only. That's a special banner I made just for this show. Let's see. Let's get that up there so we all know what's going on. Okay, so here's the deal. The prints are $15 a piece. They're signed and numbered, limited edition. Most of them. The Warrior Nouveau, that one right there, and Jaws are not limited, but they are signed, and I think that's important. We got Captain America. We've got Warrior in Repose. We have San Diego, 1946. We've got the Coral Princess. Some people like to call her the Little Mermaid, the Big Little Mermaid. We Can Do It, Rosie the Riveteer, one of my all-time faves. The Star Wars Princess print, which has performed underwhelmingly. I'm a little disappointed that, you figure the Star Wars fans would be all over that stuff, but It's done okay, but not the kind of numbers I was hoping for. As you can see in the background, Batman is watching, so understand that there's a fair amount of pressure being applied from the Dark Knight back there for you guys to get involved in the con in some monetary fashion. Okay, so anyway, all you have to do if you want to order a print, let's just say hypothetically, you want to order a print. If you look at the scroll on the bottom, what will you see? You'll see all my contact information. You can actually go directly to PayPal, and this is for a sketchbook or anything. Go directly to PayPal, pay me whatever the amount is. Make sure you put in the message box why you're sending me money. So, I just don't think it's just out of the kindness of your heart that you actually expect to get something, and I know what that something is. And also make sure your address is in there so that I can mail the package to you. That would also be helpful. So there's all my contact information on the bottom. Okay, so let's get to the really good stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Well, not that this isn't good, because of course it is. As you see, my little snowman there is presenting my sketchbook. Now this, as most of you may know already, but maybe there's a few that haven't got one of these yet. Raw Imagination, 20 years of sketches, 20 years of my best sketches by me, hardcover, 64 pages, full color. I'll be sketching on one of these very shortly. I'm going to put an Iron Man right there next to Conan on that blank page. That's where Iron Man goes. Anyway, you can get a headshot in there for $45 of any character you want, or you can just buy the book, get it signed and numbered for $25, free shipping. This weekend only. How do you get one? Well, you message me, or you can PayPal me the money and say, hey, sketchbook, I want to sketch a rogue, and pay me the money, make sure your address is on there. I'll do it, send it out to you, and everyone will be happy. Well, let's hope everyone will be happy. Okay, I'm going to take a quick look to see who is here. Candy cane lights are a nice touch. Thank you so much. I spared no expense. Baby Yoda is now called Grogu now in Mandalorian Season 2. Well, what does that got to do with the, I don't know. Draw Baby Yoda with a Santa. Oh, I see, you're correcting. All right, don't call him Grogu. That's too hard to say. It's Baby Yoda. Johnny Fitz is here. Thanks, Johnny, for stopping in. I am well. I hope you are as well. Humphrey Bear, well, that's the official name now. Okay. Mandalorian, which is what's hot right now. Well, I haven't watched a single episode, so there you go. Let's see. A lot of people cared. Okay, there's an argument going on about the Mandalorian right now. That's what I like to see, action. Action in the comments section. Conan should be sticking a meatball. Get back to you on that. Oh, I see, from the sketchbook. Okay, so what have I got for you that's special tonight? Well, okay, let me show you a few things that are special. Here's a picture of me and Steve Gerber from 1992-ish at the Ultraverse conference in Malibu, California, just before we were to launch off the Ultraverse. And that's Gerber and I talking about sludge and probably fake laughing. But yeah, so the legendary Steve Gerber, the once upon a time young Aaron Lopresti, right there. You can only see content like this coming to one of my virtual cons. All right, let me show you a couple things here. What do we got here? I don't know if I've ever shown this before, but I came across it today and I just wanted to share it. Okay, now see this is a oversized print. This is the original art, but I did it bigger than normal and I don't know why. This was used for a German comic convention that I went to, right? They invited me to come to it and I said, well, only if you let me bring my wife. And they're like, well, we're not paying for your wife. And I said, well, then I'm not coming. And then I said, well, what if I work out a deal that I do something for the con to kind of justify you paying to bring my wife? And they said, okay, what will you do? And I said, well, I'll do this art. I'll color it. We'll make it into a print and you guys can sell it at the show for, and they were like, deal. So I did this thing. And as you can see, Dortmund is the German city that the con was at. There's a nice little dinosaur, very similar to Baby Yoda, coming right out of there and eating a plant. And you can see these odd-shaped building, like, let me get in there a little bit closer. rock formations back here, those are actually reflective of buildings in Dortmund that they wanted sort of in the background. So anyway, a lot of people came up to me after seeing this and said, wow, why don't you do a series of this, whatever it is? Because you can see there's the crashed spaceship here. These guys are what's left of their tattered space uniforms. And then, of course, we have the aliens and the dinosaurs. And so if I had more than 5 people say, hey, you should do that, I'd buy it, I might actually do it. But it takes probably closer to 5,000 people that actually want to buy it than it takes more than 5 people to actually do a comic. So, or 5 people willing to buy it to do a comic. But anyway, I wanted to share that because I thought it was actually kind of cool, and I'd forgotten about it as it was sitting there because I don't know, it was about maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. Okay, so what else do I have to share for you? I got a few pieces for sale that I hadn't shared before. Now these are the expensive ones, so don't faint. Anyway, I do have the original here for the Captain America print, right, which is right there. Let me zoom in because I still don't know if you're gonna be able to. Anyway, that's what it looks like colored. Of course, we're looking at the black and white. But anyway, I actually have this for sale, and I've never actually let anybody know. I know there's a couple of big rollers out there, or high rollers, or big spenders, or whatever you call them. This is $800. What? Are you crazy? That's so expensive. But anyway, yeah. So if anybody's interested in that, I do have the original art for that, and you can contact me. Now here's something interesting. This is the original, and I've had this. I did this back in 2017, and I have had this forever, and it's too big to fit in my portfolio, so I have never brought it to a con with me. So I thought, you know what? I'll just let whoever's out there in Cyberland know that this original is also for sale. Now, originally, I had $1,000 on this. Christmas Con special, 800. No kidding. All 3 princesses. This is as you can see, pencil on watercolor paper. There's old what's her face from the new movie, and then there's Who's It's from the one before, and then old what's her name from the very first series. So those are a couple special pieces, and on the higher end. Of course, I'm still known as the Kmart of original art, so in comic art. So I'm actually quite affordable compared to most people. But anyway, so those are available. And I wanted to share this. And I don't know why, because I just came across it. This was the cover to one of my very first art books that I self-published called, what was it called? Imagine That. Okay. That's kind of a play on Imagine This. Well, Imagine That. But anyway, so this was the cover painting I did. Kind of a little sort of take on Eve and the Serpent, I guess. That's a watercolor. It's not necessarily for sale. I suppose it is, but I didn't. That's not why I'm showing it to you. I'm just showing it to you to show it to you. But I actually do paint once in a while. And I thought that snake turned out pretty good. He's all shiny and stuff. I kind of like that. That turned out okay. So you can see. I should do a process video on painting someday. Anyway, so there's that. All right, so I wanted to share those things to kind of warm up the crowd a little bit, give people a chance to kind of get in here before I do the next big thing. Oh, Johnny, are you out of here already? Oh, you're too broke for that. Well, that's all right. There's more stuff coming up. Okay, so that's what's on the table. I'm going to turn this camera back around for a minute. Look you guys straight in the eye with my Santa hat. You should be able to take me pretty seriously. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I've got 8 pieces. No, 9 pieces. But, well, 8 of them are color. One of them is black and white. The 8 color ones are 9 by 12. And they feature a variety of, characters, ones that I think are popular. You've seen probably some of them on Facebook. And I'm going to display them in just a moment. But here's how it's going to work. They're all Most of them are $150 a piece. Some of them are $200. Two of them are $200. I'm going to post up on the screen so you can see them, not just down here on the table, but up on the screen. You'll see each one of the pieces that are for sale. They'll each have a price on them. Okay, these are not auction pieces; they're just first come, first serve. So what I want you to do is to type in the comments if you want to get one. Ashley says, I'm dying with the Santa hat. Underoos approved. Absolutely it is. It's Christmas. It's jolly. Okay, so here's the deal on these. And ones that don't sell tonight are going to be up again tomorrow. But I don't expect them to last, but maybe they will. Who knows? Maybe I'll just get embarrassed. But we're going to give it a shot anyway. But here's the deal. You have to type in the comments. If you want it, you have to type in a listen carefully, please. These are the rules, and I'm going by the rules, so you can't blame anybody but yourself if you don't do the rules right. In fact, I'm going to put the rules up, if I can find them, right there. Okay. See that scroll at the bottom? Here's what you do. When you see a piece and you say, for example, let's say that there's Conan. Okay, there isn't, but let's just say there is. And you go, man, I want that Conan piece. So you're going to type in the comments, sold Conan. Okay, that's what you're going to do. You're not going to say, I want Conan. That automatically disqualifies you, because wanting something is not the same as actually buying it. Okay, so sold, and then whatever the name of the character is. Now, if you want to save some time, you can abbreviate, but you have to abbreviate in a way that I actually can recognize what you're talking about. Like, say, for example, there was a Wonder Woman piece. I'm not saying there is, but there might be. You could say sold WW, then I would know, okay, that's Wonder Woman. But don't just, give me something so I know what it is. So anyway, and it's going to be the first one that comes up, gets whatever particular one is up. And like I said, this may go fast. You guys may just fall asleep. But we'll give it a shot and see what happens. And if they don't sell immediately right now, they're going to be out throughout the entire con, available, and we'll keep revisiting that. And the same rules will apply. So again, sold, whatever the one is, whatever the name of the drawing is or the character, and first one up on the comments gets it. That's the best way I can do it. It's probably not the fairest way, but I don't know if it's fair or not, but that seemed like the most reasonable way to do it. So I'm going to click this up on the screen so you can see all the pieces. Have I ever met Clyde the Glide Drexler? Flyfox Pro wants to know. I had never met him, no, unfortunately. Here we go. I did meet Jeff Petrie and Sidney Wicks once when I was a little kid. I got their autographs at like a G.I. Joe's store, which used to be a store up here. I'm going to fall asleep because I'm a broke 15-year-old. Well, at least you get to see the art, because some of this art's been posted on Facebook, some of it hasn't, so you get to see it for the first time. And then I'm going to show bigger pictures of each one separately. Okay, let's see if I can do this without screwing it up. All right, we're ready? And 1, 2, 3. There they are. Okay, so we have Hulk. Hulk headshots 150. Yes, I'm going to draw in a minute. We have the Thing is at 150. Supergirl, sold. Black Cat is gone. Who's got the? I don't know who you are, but I'm writing down your. Okay, Black Cat. Nope. You guys, Black Cat is gone. It's coming in so fast I can't keep up. Okay. Hang on, be right back to him. Okay. Okay, Christian, you've got Wonder Woman. Okay. Dustin Whitney's got Black Cat. What else we got in here? Hyper Potato wants Sue Storm. Who else we got? Anybody? Yeah, so Sue Storm's already gone, everybody. Okay, so who's sold right as of right now? Wonder Woman's gone, Black Cat is gone, and Sue Storm is gone. The winners are Christian Quintos got Wonder Woman, Dustin Whitney got Black Cat, and Hyper Potato got Sue Storm. We're gonna go take a little bit of a Supergirl. Okay. Javid 007. Yeah, the ladies sold fast. What a shock, right? Okay, so who do we have left? Red Sonja's still there? I can't believe Red Sonja's still there. Okay, so Wonder Woman's gone, Black Cat's gone, Sue Storm's gone, Supergirl's gone. All right, so let's I'm going to go away from the comments for just a minute and show you guys these in a little bit closer. Okay, so Hulk. Oh, wait a minute. That's me. There's Hulk. You can get a little bit better idea of the color detail. Thing. Supergirl, who's sold. Sue Storm, sold. Red Sonja, apparently still available. Wonder Woman, she's gone. Black Cat, gone. And Captain Marvel, come on, man. He's still available. So Captain Marvel's still available. Red Sonja's still available. And those two guys are still available. Okay, I got one more that I haven't shown yet. Let's what's happening? What did I miss? What's happening? I'm selling these color ones right now. The Hulk is 150. Let me go back to this. Hulk's 150. The Thing is 150. These are 9x12. Nice color pieces, though. Red Sonja, still available at 200. I'm shocked. And then Captain Marvel still available. Now, I also have this guy. Now, this is an 11x14. This is black and white, but a lot of people probably saw this on Facebook, and there was a lot of interest in it, so we'll see. This Green Goblin, this pen and ink Green Goblin, done sort of in a Wrights and Frankenstein, really more of a Franklin Booth kind of approach. That's 11x14, so it's actually larger than the other ones, and that's $200. And that is also available right now. Ooh, Goblin Nice, thank you. All right, so as of right now, we have Wonder Woman's gone, Black Cat's gone, Sue Storm's gone, and Supergirl is gone. Okay, here's what you guys do that you bought these. You need to PayPal me, okay? Let me do that real quick. Price for what? The Green Goblin's 200. Jiminy Cricket takes the. Does that mean sold for the Green Goblin? Or are you just asking me? Because you're not doing it right. Do I sell any smaller items like buttons, stickers, or sketch cards? Not at present. So Jiminy, if you want to buy the Green Goblin, then say sold Green Goblin or sold GG and message it on there. Okay, so I know that you're actually buying it, not just asking about it. Okay, so if you've made the purchase, okay, Zane Zielinski takes Red Sonja. So she is now gone. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it's sold, and then whatever the name of the thing. That's why I did it that way, so I wouldn't be confused. I'm confusing myself anyway. So anyway, we still have the Hulk available at 150. We still have the Thing available at 150. And we still have Golden Age Captain Marvel at 150, which is personally my favorite. And we still have Green Goblin at 200, but that's bigger. It's 11 by 14. So there you go. Those are still available. You can chime in at any time if you're checking your bank account and saying, do I have enough money to get that? Okay, so here's the deal. Everybody that got that or made a purchase at this moment, there's my scrolling, is my payment information. You go to PayPal at aaron@aaronlopresti.com, PayPal me, add $10 to whatever purchase price for shipping. So if you bought a $150 piece, it's $160. If you bought a $200 piece, it's $210. Okay, make sure you put in the message why you're sending me the money, and make sure your address is in there so I know who to mail it to. I'm going to do this once more. I'm going to give you the whole thing. So those are the prices on those things. Captain Marvel's still available. The Thing and the Hulk are still available. Those are the pieces. Funny how all the women are sold, but the three guys are not. It's outrageous. Okay. Okay. All right. So that portion of the show will end. We'll revisit it later. You can jump in with a sold at any time. And I'm going to start drawing. Because selling stuff, that's all fine and good. But, you know, we know what you're all really here for. I need someone to operate my keyboard for me while I'm doing this. I really do. I want to get this on there because, look, there's 38 people watching right now, which is fantastic. Thank you. If you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. There's no reason not to, because it's free. Do it because it's free. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to, I'm going to draw Iron Man, and then I'm going to give you a little preview of something I'm working on and actually get you guys' opinion. So everybody, you know, hang around for that because I do value opinions. We're drawing Iron Man in a sketchbook. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to grab a sketchbook. Crack it open. I'll take the banners off in a minute. Okay. We'll knock these guys off for the time being. And now I got to get my drawing board. And then we're going to draw an invisible girl after this. So that should be pretty easy since I don't really have to draw anything. I kid because I care. All right, let me get this camera out the way. Now, hopefully the lighting, I don't know. We experimented a lot with the lighting last night, and I don't really know if we achieved anything by doing that, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay. All right, get prepared for Iron Man. We should play a little Black Sabbath, right? I haven't really figured out how to do audio overlays, but I'll get there eventually. And someday you guys will tune in for one of these, and it'll actually be quite the spectacular production, but not exactly tonight. All right, it seems like we should be able to see what I'm about to do. You can see it okay. was better than we were doing last night. You'll notice I'm doing the typical egg shape for the head. I think this is the 80s era Iron Man, kind of in that John Romita Jr. vein, I think. No nose, though. Not doing the nose. Needs more chin, that's for sure. Now, some people, they like to see the eyes in Iron Man. I don't really like that. It's more mysterious when you can't see his eyes, I think. But I've never actually drawn. Actually, that's not true. I drew Iron Man in one issue of Ms. Marvel. If you guys can remember back that far. And I used to work at the House of Ideas called Marvel Comics. I know he's got this kind of ribbing stuff going on here. I'm going to go check my reference really, really quickly. Yeah, I didn't like the nose either. Let's see. Dustin sent the payment. Thank you. I might draw with the stream myself. Rob D. Nerd, you should draw with the stream. You should join in. Let's see. Dustin Whitney sent payment. Okay, I already read that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm trying to catch up with all this stuff. Yep, my wife and I enjoyed your run on Ms. Marvel. Thank you, Eric. Eric remembers. Well, Paul says his daughter has that issue. So look at people do remember. What are you saying? Iron Man's nose was the bomb diggity? That, I just don't think so. All right. Okay, so I'm going to flip over. You can't, it's not going to affect you guys, but I want to check my Iron Man here. Make sure. Oh, I see. This goes like this. Straight down like that. Yeah, see, the reference he sent me is not showing any eyes, so I'm going without eyes. It's just spookier that way. Oh, come on. All right. This has kind of a double ring around it. His neck thing. Neck guard or whatever. Okay, now we're cooking. See, I'm digging this now. Okay, so you're saying, Aaron, how can it possibly be worth the? Oh, I gotta get. How can it possibly be worth $20 or $25? Because I'm going to put a lot of line work in it. That's why. If you must know. I know you guys were asking under your breath. Excuse my reach. My hairy werewolf arms. Okay. Serious, I can't find a .80. It's just, no matter how organized I am, I'm not organized. I know a lot of you guys are going to be tuning out to watch Mariah Carey's video here in 30 minutes, so I better up the entertainment value here pretty quick. Iron Man nose was early 70s. I think you're high. Early 70s? You know what? Actually, you might be right. It might have been like prior to 1975. I think you're right. I please forgive me for calling you high. No Michael Bublé. No No Michael Bublé. All right. So I remember I was visiting my grandparents in Nebraska. Well, not just me, but our entire family. And I was young, like maybe 8. And I picked up an Iron Man comic at the grocery store where it was like he was still in Vietnam. And it's like, when did we get out of Vietnam? 72? 73? And he had a nose on that one, and that was an older one. I remember that. I mean, it wasn't old like 1963 old, but now the guy that's getting this has got like 4 of these from me. It's a very interesting way to collect head sketches. But a lot of you guys are doing it, and I am not going to disparage you guys from buying multiple copies. I can't remember what other ones he got so far, but he was saying that this was kind of like he's getting his Avengers collection complete or something. So I don't know if he's. I'd have to go back and check my Batman book to see. To see what other ones he's gotten, if they've all been Avengers. I mean, I assume they probably are. He would know. He's getting them. They got these ovals. The ovals aren't necessarily that hard to draw, but when you've got the spine right here, you're trying not to bend, it's a little bit more difficult. Yeah, what am I missing here? I'm not a mod, that's for sure. Well, I mean, as I've said before, these are pretty cheap sketches for the size. I mean, they're 8.5 by 11, and they're fairly detailed for what I'm doing. So it is a pretty good deal. And like I said, I don't do these otherwise. I mean, I suppose I did them at, well, I don't know if actually I did or not. I was gonna say, I suppose I did them at cons, but when I think about it, I don't know if I actually did do these at cons. I find it really difficult to, people get, very specific requests. Well, can you draw a big headshot and a little headshot? And you're like, yeah, but it's really hard to price everything out because, when there's so many just possible variances. So I try to just give people a couple of options so I can keep, the price the same and not try to, well, let's see, is that going to take me a half hour longer? Or, do I need to charge more for that? Do I need to charge less? Am I charging too much for this? So that's why I don't, do like a bunch of different options when I'm doing commissions, because it can get complicated trying to figure out, you want to be fair and not charge one person a ton of money and then someone else not as much. And they're like, hey, I only paid this much for that. And how come I had to pay this much? And so life's tough. I'm going to crosshatch the black in here, which is way too time consuming, but if I go with the black marker, you guys know the story, it'll bleed through. Can't have that. Okay, when I'm done with this, I'm going to share some artwork with you guys that you've never seen before. And kind of let you know what I'm thinking about my possible use for it. And get some crowd reaction. Cross hatching is for chumps, man. It takes forever, but it looks cool. These curves are hard freehand, but you know what? If you put your hand down like this and lock it in place and do sweeping motions like this, you can keep a fairly constant curve. That's why you have to keep like moving the see, it's like magic. If you try to just move it along like that, you're going to get this wobbly line and it's going to look terrible. But if you lock your hand down, just rotate your wrist like that, you can get, I mean, it's still freehand, but it's not bad. So, how did you make your sketchbook without getting copyright lawsuit problems? There's no copyrighted material in here. That's how. At least recognizable. Like I said, there's John Carter stuff in there, but it's not like I'm saying this is John Carter. It could just be fantasy stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Quoth the Raven. Yes, sorry. Well, I agreed. I changed my story, Quoth the Raven, Louis Bright Raven. I did. I said that Iron Man, I agreed that it was early 70s. But anyway, back to the... No. My wrist, look at my hand. So what do you call this? The ball of your hand, right down here. This right here. Okay, so that stays like that, right? So your wrist is really the rotation point. See that? But if you keep your fingers in the same position and you do this, you're going to get the exact same curve over and over again. But if you pick your hand up and try and draw a curve like this, you're going to be all over the place. So you put that ball of your hand down, you lock it. Basically, you're locking if you're doing something smaller, you would lock right on that ball of your hand, right? And you just do like this. Okay. But if you're doing a larger piece, you're locking your arm and your wrist is rotating. You're locking your hand, so your hand is not changing. See, boom, boom, boom. And when I pull my fingers in, I'm pulling them in the same way every time. So you're going to get the same curve, if that makes any sense. I have interviewed, Humphrey Bear wants to know if I ever interviewed Gary Shipman. I've never interviewed anybody because I've just figured out how to like host people. So I should start doing guests, shouldn't I? And then that way I don't have to talk as much. Although I always seem to have this ability to ramble on endlessly. So he's like, okay, I think I understand the technique. Just try it. Get a pen and try it. Not on something you don't want to ruin, just on a blank piece of paper and try it. And you'll get the feel for it. All right, I got to put some shiny stuff on here. Okay, to answer the copyright question I was asked just a little bit ago, like I said, for example, look at this. You look at that and go, okay, that's clearly Conan, but is it? I could just claim that's a barbarian, and Robert E. Howard Estate's not going to try and sue me over it. Now, granted, this stuff, Universal, might get a little pissy. So I guess the reality is, I am breaking copyright law and hoping I don't get shut down. Yeah, I guess there is some copyrighted stuff in here. I take it back. But it's a very limited edition, very limited exposure, and technically somebody could shut me down, but if you don't have it on the cover and it's just a very small portion of the book, yeah, it's a gamble, I guess. But I didn't use any Marvel or DC characters in here. This was all just, but there are a few, I'm not going to say anymore. There are a few pieces in here of the copyright persuasion. They're clearly that's what they are. But like the John Carter and stuff like that, yeah, I mean, you could argue, I suppose, that like White Ape and stuff like that is, but I'm not using the name of any of the characters, and I think that's helpful as well. I'm trying to justify breaking the law, quite frankly, is what I'm doing. So. Like I was going to do like my, I was going to do a book of like my best color commissions, and they're all like Marvel and DC characters, right? So in order to do something like that, that's clearly, there's nothing in it but that stuff. That I would get permission from Marvel and DC before I do that. And I was in the process of doing that until all this sort of implosion, and I don't even know if people that handle that stuff are even there at DC anymore. I mean, I honestly don't know what's going on with that. And something like that would be a hardcover and hopefully be a much larger print run. So I would want to make sure that I got my copyright clearances on all that stuff. Because like I say, quite frankly, the whole thing is copyrighted material. It's not just a couple pieces here and there. And if they were to shut me down, boy, do these books become super valuable super quick, right? So definite collector's item. Thank you. I hope I'm having fun and behaving. I always behave. Thank you, Nighthawk. I appreciate that. Johnny Fitz says, Aaron, I hope you're having fun and behaving. Well, I never go too far off the deep end. It gets a little crazy when my wife comes in here, but she's, like I said, she's taking a nap. So, the difficult thing about, like, let's say I wanted to do a book on Universal monsters, right? Just drawings of Universal monsters, right? And I wanted I wanted them to look like Karloff and all that kind of stuff. Technically, I'd have to get permission from Universal, and I'd have to get permission from the Boris Karloff estate, right? But here's the problem. Universal would not give me permission because it wouldn't make enough money for them to even generate a contract. The amount of money it would cost them to generate a contract to give me the rights to do it, I wouldn't make enough money with the project that it would be worth it for them to do it. So they would just say, no, we're not going to do it. And so it makes it very difficult if you want to do a copyrighted project. Now, Karloff's estate, Sarah Karloff, I believe, is still handling that stuff. It was much easier to deal with, and she probably would. She'd probably go, yeah, sure. As long as you did it justice. And and you could probably get the rights, Karloff's right, but then you couldn't get the, because it's like Karloff owns his likeness, but Universal owns the monster makeup, right? So, and I went through this process. I tried to do a portfolio 30 years ago of Universal monsters. And I had all the illustrations complete. So, but they were just, I talked to the lady, it was very nice over Universal at the time. I don't know if they're still as nice as they used to be, but I like called her on the phone, and she actually, took my call and got back to me. And the licensing lady over at Universal, she was just like, hey, this stuff looks great, but there's no reason, we can't give you a license for it because you're not going to make any money doing it. And I went, couldn't exactly argue that. Now, one thing I'd like to do is get the license for John Carter of Mars, or one of the books. And then, and I think Princess of Mars is in public domain, although I'm not 100% certain. But just do an illustrated version of the book, like those old Doubleday Frazetta books back from the early 70s. And basically just reprint the novel. Well, it's not really a novel, but collection of pulp chapters that they put into a book form. But and then just do black and white illustrations in there. I think that would be a blast. And I bet I could get the license. I know I could get the license to do that. I don't know exactly how expensive it would be, so I'd have to sort of kind of gauge how much I could actually make off of it if I did it, because it would cost me up front. But that would be, I'd really enjoy doing something like that. Well, if you do a sketchbook, here's the deal that Marvel and DC has kind of struck with artists. And even if you're not working for them, if you're selling a sketchbook, if you're doing a sketchbook and just selling it at cons, obviously there's no cons right now, but hopefully we'll be back to that next year. They don't care. They'll let you do that. That's kind of like a courtesy. They will allow you to go ahead and do a sketchbook. If you start mass producing it and selling it online and selling it on Amazon, then they're going to get a little ticked off, and that's when they have problems. But if you're doing limited in numbers, a few hundred, you're selling them at shows, they have pretty much allowing people to do that, because quite frankly, it's just too hard to police everybody. And it would cost more for them to hire someone to run around and shut everybody down than it would be to actually just, kind of look like nice guys and say, okay, we're going to allow you guys to do this. And that's the option that they have chosen, which has been beneficial for a lot of us that, do a lot of cons and make a little bit of money doing those things. Again, this, like I said, I've sold 200 and some copies of this sketchbook is all, so it's not like I'm just raking in the cash. I am, I made enough to pay for the printing cost, and, I'm money ahead on it. And it's something that, you can have at a convention and sell for, a couple of years till you run out of them. Like, unlike Frank Cho, who sells, 20,000 at one show, or excuse me, 2,000 at one show. I maybe sell 30 at one show, so it takes a while to go through your inventory. And, providing these sketch options on the inside has certainly not hurt my sales chances on these books either. Okay. That looks fairly groovy. Let's take a look. Yeah, Iron Man from the 80s. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Well, we'll just sign this sucker and then check the bat book. Oh, I'm going to miss sign in 2020. Ah, I'm down to 29 viewers. We had 38. I should have done my preview earlier because I need more opinions, but you guys are the hardcore people. You're the guys that know. So, yeah, I'm going to find my Oh, this is number 207. All right. So we'll write 207 in there. Boom. Okay, so again, Iron Man, 80s style. That's for Steve Branson. All right, Steve, completed. All right, so here's the thing. Let's, actually, I'll just do it right here on my lap. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, here's, now these are in pencil, so maybe I'll have to zoom in here later. What do we got here? Okay, you guys probably saw me post the rough pencil of this. This is the finished pencil, okay? This is clearly a John Carter of Mars piece. So you can kind of get the big view. There's a Barsoom or whatever down here. Basically, this Banth is pushing John Carter off a cliff, and Deja Thoris is kind of got a hold of his mane, is going down with him, and you know the battle ensues. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, well, he made Louis Brightrev, and he made 20K. He sold 2,000, so or made 40K or some ridiculous amount like that. Okay, so obviously I'm going to ink this. Let me zoom in and give you a little bit of detail look here. You can kind of see what I did with the rocks there. Okay. Is this going to be for sale? Brian, everything's for sale. Okay. Not yet because it's not done. But if that's something you're seriously interested in, stay in touch over it. Okay, now check this out. All right, this isn't done yet, obviously. We got a warrior girl, whatever, walking in the snow. And we have this sort of little crevasse back here. And I've got this kind of Yeti dude sneaking up from behind her here. Okay. Did I consult? You saw I posted on Facebook. I'm going to have to, you know, I told Joe that I would have to ask him about have him help me finish the rocks. His backgrounds are phenomenal. Wow, nice art, Aaron. Now, new sketch theme. Everyone with alcohol, 20, old enough to drink. Okay, so yeah, this isn't finished yet, but it's getting there. Okay. And these are going in the same thing. Okay, let me show you a couple other things. And these are rougher, but to give you the idea of, okay, this one, it's a girl sitting on the edge of with kind of a halter and short jeans, is sitting on the edge of a swamp. I don't know why any girl would be sticking her foot in the swamp. But and then you got a swamp creature. It's not, it's not Swamp Thing, but it's of that ilk coming in from behind. We got trees and stuff will be back here. And that's one of the pieces I'm thinking of doing that's going to be part of this. Do I know what Assassin's Creed is? I know it's a video game, and I know it was a really bad movie, wasn't it? Okay, so that was one. What was the other one? I think that's, yeah, that was the other one I was thinking about. Okay, so you're saying, why are you showing this? Oh, that's I wanted to show you the rough of the John Carter piece, how that started in my sketchbook and how it ended up being this finished piece. In fact, I'll show you this again so you can sort of compare and contrast. So this is what it ended up being. That's how it started. As you can see, I lifted the lion's head up a little bit, or the Banth's head up, and made his head a little bit bigger. Changed John Carter's position. Wasn't in love with this. And Deja is pretty much the same. So anyway, that's kind of, I put this stuff down in sketchbooks to kind of get ideas. Sometimes I never revisit them, but they're there if I need them. And of course, I reworked the Banth's head. So I kind of had a clear idea of what I wanted the thing to look like. Anyway, so maybe this will be the next one. We'll see. Okay, so what is all this for, you ask? Well, I am considering, here it comes, drum roll please, I'm thinking about doing a coloring book. Those of you who are as old as me will remember Wrightson did a Color of the Creature book that was this giant format. I mean, really big. Had all these great black and white illustrations in them, just all horror stuff, right? Now, I don't know if anybody actually bought one and actually colored in it. Actually, I'm sure there's probably people who did. But the idea would be, it'd be an art book / coloring book / right? So, so I'm trying to think if that's a good idea or not, because you could scan the art and color it in Photoshop if you wanted to do that. You could actually color the pages. I'd make sure the paper that it was printed on was quality enough that you could color on it. But that's what I'm considering doing. So we shall see. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that something you'd actually buy? I mean, I'm not talking about a kid's coloring book. I'm talking about something more elaborate than that would double as a art book, but it would be a coloring book. I kind of like the novelty of it, but I don't know. I'm toying with it. The positive side of it is I would just Kickstarter or whatever to get enough to cover the printing costs, right? And then if I did better than that, then it would pay for my time to put the art in. Let's see. I have a struggle transferring. Let me put this up here so I can answer this. I have a struggle transferring sketchbook ideas to bigger scale, like 11 by 17 Strathmore paper. I think it's a transfer from the small canvas to bigger, drawing in the sketchbook, the drawing again big. Well, that's why I don't do that. Here's the secret. Scan your sketchbook drawing. If you like the drawing, okay, scan the sketchbook drawing, blow it up. If you have a printer, if you have an 11 by 17 printer, which I do, blow it up to 11 by 17 or whatever size you want to do it, and then light table it onto the board. Or at least light table the gesture, and then you redraw it over the top, obviously, to clean it up and make it look better. But you can get your placement in there. And that's what I did on that John Carter piece. I changed stuff. I actually went back in with tracing paper over the top of the Banth and adjusted the body. And then I went back in on the tracer paper and redrew John Carter, but then it kept Deja the same and the cliff and everything. And then I went in and then would trace that onto the finished board, just the gesture drawing. I don't sit there for hours, tracing over something I drew that just is too boring. I just want to get the gesture down and the body positioning right. and then I'll go in and do the details on the paper full size over the top. I said I would probably just get it as an art book personally. Well, that's fine because it's going to double as an art book or a coloring book. But I think the coloring book I was hoping would add sort of a second dimension to it for people that, would, because there's a lot of guys out there that, they want stuff that they can practice coloring on or whatever. And so anyway, I'm toying with it. I've got some existing art that I can use. And I did a few pieces a while ago with this, doing a coloring book in mind. So I only have to do about 8 more new pieces to go with those 2. So about 10 new pieces. So it's not an incredible amount of work, but I am thinking about it. Hi, Aaron. When does the Lopresti Comics and Drawing Academy commence? Soon. As soon as COVID's over, I'm going to have Aaron Con, get a hotel and have everybody, come out and we'll do drawing, and it'll be just, an amazing time. I'll get a few guests. Actually, I might actually do that. Paul says he'd buy it, but you do well to have sketches con heads would bring. Let me try this again. Oh, I see what you're saying. Have it rougher and allow people to come in and ink over the top of it. That's interesting too. That's an interesting concept. Just do like pencils. Well, at that point you could do, 1 page of, that's interesting because you could do the finished piece, then have a scan of the pencils and then a blue line of the pencils. Then people could go in and ink over the blue line and match it up against whatever, that might be interesting. Okay, so we're on to, but I am interested in your guys' opinion on that, so feel free to drop, your opinion in here. Byrne did a story one a few years ago back, Stowaway to the Stars, with Stout. Will Stout has a dinosaur themed one, yeah? That's true, he does. Suitable for coloring and framing, exactly. Okay, so that was 93 to 99. You did the comic coloring activity book. Did it sell well? That's a question for Louis Brightraven. Let's see. Brian says, are you thinking about the type of paper for this? Yes, I am. If you can keep the cost lower, might be an all ages thing. You could sell cons, sort of a foot in the door for people wandering floor with kids. Yes. Well, I don't want to do it on that cheap coloring book paper that people you normally get a coloring book with, because let's face it, the drawings in here would be more, they're not adult in the sense that there's anything inappropriate about them, but you got monsters and you got scantily clad women and things like that, so it'd be more for I don't know that it would be something that you would necessarily buy for your 8-year-old. Now if I was an 8-year-old, I'd buy it for myself, but so I need it to be kind of a little bit higher end in that regard, not ridiculously expensive, of course, but like $20 or whatever. But it'd be a larger format and it would have nicer paper in it. Aaron Con South. If I can't get any more work from DC, I may have to start doing that, traveling around. I've often thought about doing instructional art cons, get a few other artists with me and book venues and just do the whole thing and see how they go. Because it's not that hard to set that stuff up. I like novelty art books with extras. What do you mean by extras, Humphrey Bear? All right, I'm going to start drawing. Sorry. So you're talking, you guys are looking at a white piece of paper and going, Aaron, are you going to do something here pretty soon? All right. Sue Storm. No, it's not a sketchbook. It'd be a coloring book. I said I'm not doing any more sketchbooks. Yeah, See, our head's too big. I'm gonna fit the whole figure on here. Now, I assume most of you guys that draw do the same thing, but I start with the head and then I gauge everything to the size of that head. And so if my head's too big, you start to realize before you even get halfway down the paper that you're not going to have enough room to fit the figure in and have it be in proportion with what you want. So I had to kind of catch myself there. And I don't think I've ever drawn Sue Storm before, except once on a sample cover. And then I drew that color picture of her that, you know, I had for sale here. And someone saw it and said, "Hey, can you do one of those, for me?" And I'm like, "Sure can." So now I'm drawing my second Sue Storm in a couple of weeks when I haven't drawn any practically my entire life. I probably said this before, but I tend to sort of noodle my way to the figure. I do a little bit of the stick figure approach, but not a lot. I even when I was a kid, I did the stick figure because the How to Draw Comics in Marvel Way told me to, but it's something that never really stuck with me very much. I just sort of noodle my way around the figure until I get what I want. And I don't really think it's all that different, because you're basically doing the same thing in a different way. My butt's a bit saggy. Let's see, where are we at? I think an online schooling would be best and generate more income for you and more opportunities for people around the world to learn. Well, that's true. Comics. I think there's speaking about a traveling instructional con, I think you're right, but I also think that there's, and maybe we'll be in a, maybe landscape has changed and we'll never go back to a certain degree, but I think people like going and hanging out too. Now, granted, it would be more cost prohibitive, but when you're talking about something small as opposed to, maybe you're talking about 20 people as opposed to trying to get 200, and then you're talking like any of these, like if you put on a painting workshop or you want to go to a painting workshop, right? And for example, I'll give you a perfect example. A guy that CM Dudash, who did the Pale Rider Clint Eastwood movie poster, right? He would come out and do painting workshops, right? So I called him up and I was setting this up because I had a bunch of artists in this area that were interested in doing it. So it ticked me off because I went through all this work to set this thing up, and then everybody bailed on me. And so then I got to call the guy and say, oh no, okay, we're not doing it. And it was pretty embarrassing, quite frankly. But he was willing to come out. And yeah, it would have cost us about $350 a piece to do it. But it was incredible, valuable instruction. And that's something that you really would want, if you're doing a painting or something, and having the artist there to go over your shoulder, and and you can actually see what they're doing texture wise, just right there up close and personal. There's some real value to that. But yeah, I mean, I understand you're not going to get the same numbers. But if I put on basically a con that featured me, Simonson, Chaikin, for example, on storytelling or something, and had each guy break down a specific area of their expertise, I think you'd get a lot of people. I may be mistaken, but now if it's just me, yeah, probably not. But that's something I could just do locally around here if I wanted to. But I do think your online things, I know that a lot of people are doing that right now. And it's not a bad idea to do an online course and have people sign up for it, and it costs $40 or whatever. And the instructor does it for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever it is. Essentially what I'm doing right now, for free. But no, then I would, obviously I would break down, do an entire course from perspective to figure drawing to storytelling, or 3 different classes or something like that. So it's very possible that I would go that route, or will go that route. I know Randy Emberlin does something here in Portland with young kids on basically how to, it's basically drawing comics and superheroes for young kids. And he does really well doing that. The thing is, I'm much more interested in teaching older kids and adults than I am little kids, because that's a totally different thing. Because I think what I have to offer is more advanced, and I like to approach the art from a more advanced perspective. Okay, and not me necessarily teaching you how to draw, but me showing you how to do something better. And trying to teach, and just even trying to teach perspective to like a 10-year-old kid, unless it's a really gifted 10-year-old kid, might struggle a bit with that. So, Nighthawk's going to bed. Okay, good night, Nighthawk. But it meant a lot. Okay, I'm way behind on reading. Hang on a second here. Portland's Bob Ross. There you go. I need a wig because I got no hair left. Oh, Nighthawk's taken. Okay. Regarding Spacey, I sold and marketed it to a non-comics market. I was selling at 13,000 copies per issue bi-monthly during that period without any comic shop exposure. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, I'm sure it does. That was referring to this, but it means a lot of marketing time to business. Yeah, I'm sure it does. You guys are talking me into it. I'm going to have to start preparing something, I guess. I was going to do a book years ago, and I actually taught a class at the there's north here in Portland, Northwest. What's it called? Northwest Art Institute, maybe Northwest Art College. What was it called? Downtown Portland. Anyway, I mean, we're talking like years ago. I taught a class in comic art. We generally with about 20 kids. Usually it was high school and older. So again, it was easy to communicate adult concepts with them as opposed to trying to communicate with little kids. I do fine with little kids. I like little kids, but not in an instructional environment. It's too hard to communicate ideas, and my ideas start becoming too too advanced for my crowd, and then it's kind of like they're like, Aaron, you lost these kids. I'm like, yeah, I know. They just want to see me draw the Hulk, but all right, you guys got me thinking. Maybe I will do that. I should zoom in on this a little bit, I think. Got to get this face right. Nothing else matters. Well, I shouldn't say nothing else matters, but nothing else will matter if I don't get the face right. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, what time is it? 7:30. That means Mariah Carey's Christmas special is going on right now. She's got a great voice, but I was never a big fan. But I haven't really, I quit listening to music around 1990. So, okay, so I want to do those little force bubble things that she's got going on here, just for the fun of it. I don't know which version of her. I kind of like the ones with the white collar up here. Let's get these hands cleaned up. Oops, sorry. I forget when I'm zoomed in. How is that still a thing? How is what still a thing? How is that still a thing? I don't know what you're referring to, unless you're talking to someone else in the chat. Let's see. Lewis Bright Ribbon says, I taught comics for kids before, also designed a sequential art studies program that my alma mater, Central Michigan University, that they use. Oh, really? That's cool. It's a lot of work. It's funny, my daughter's taking digital design and animation at Grand Canyon University in Phoenix. And she's constantly, what do you think of this? sending me pictures of her homework and stuff. And I'm like, what did your teacher tell you? And oh, he told me this. And I'm like, that guy's an idiot. So I have to kind of temper myself a little bit. Oh yeah, the Mariah Carey. Yeah, I saw an ad. So it showed up my Twitter feed today, and it was like, well, she's coming on like an hour after I am. I was like, I can't believe it. She's like hitting on my time. It's like, just couldn't believe it. These legs might be a little long. See, this is the problem with drawing in your lap, is you're looking at it from an angle. You're not seeing it straight up and down. So you can elongate your figures and your faces. So you have to be careful. Let's take a look at this and see if I did it. Yeah, that's pretty close. Okay. Let's get back in here. Let's go with Burns Black with the white trim color, belt, gloves, and boots. Oh, that's right. Well, no, he did it black, but it was really supposed to be blue, wasn't it? He just colored it in black because he didn't want to deal with it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been in an argument with John Byrne in a long time. So maybe I should start one. Yeah. I don't even know what the guy's doing. I know he's got some sort of forum or something he does with X-Men fan fiction. I mean, I'm not really sure I understand it, but oops, sorry, I'm down here drawing off the board, which is not very helpful for you guys to watch, is it? You know, I was thinking of doing something else. I wonder. I want to see what it looks like. You know, sometimes when I'm doing a commission for somebody, I'm just like, I'll do something a little bit more interesting, but I don't. I don't honestly know if it's any better or not, but yes, I'm redrawing it. Maybe. We're going to compare and contrast here. I don't really know if that's what I want to do either. Let me go back to what I was just doing. Okay, first this. I turn mine all over the place. When you're laying out your character, though, you should keep it in one spot so you can make sure your proportions are correct. But once you get the figure laid out and you start going in and moving in and doing details, you're not changing anything other than just adding details. And sometimes I turn mine all over the place, especially when I'm inking. So that's fine, but I wouldn't do it while you're laying your figure out. Let's see. Oops, wait a minute, wrong one, sorry. John Byrne is a pot stirrer, and got under my skin more than once. And so we had some rather, I don't want to say heated, but animated conversations. I mean, I don't know him that well, but okay. Let's see. I don't know if I like that either. This just seems so boring to me. I wonder if I dip these shoulders the other direction. Is your run on Justice League now in trade paperback form? Do you sell signed versions? The stuff I did with Rob Venditti just came out in trade. I just got copies of that. But the stuff I did, the Alien World stuff, is not out yet. But they took my annual and the 2 issues I did with Rob, it's collected with the stuff that Doug Mankey did that we were sort of working on together at that my first couple issues. So to answer your question about the Justice League, part of it is in trade. I think I like this better. It's a little bit more movement in the figure. Get this torso right, though. Aaron, check your Facebook messages for the Burn Black Blues. Okay. I will do that. Let's go in here. Looks like a zombie face. Okay, so dang it. I could tell those eyes were not quite high enough. I was going to have to extend her chin down, so I just decided to move the eyes up. This is too predictable, so let's change that to something else. Let me zoom back out. Maybe we're out a little too far. Okay, that's good. See, even I don't do it right the first time, rarely. I was never a big FF fan when I was a kid, but it's a book that I would have, I think I would have enjoyed drawing now. I mean, if it was still sort of classic, I don't think that it is. I mean, I don't really know what's going on. I don't really understand what's going on at Marvel these days with a lot of their characters. Um, hmm. I don't use blue pencil as much on these commissions because they tend to leave a trail that you can't erase fully. And I don't think that that's something that people want on their commissions. So I tend to do a lot of the underdrawing with the pencil. because it erases better. I'm still something I want to get out of this, and I'm not getting out of it. Maybe this is it. Came in here. A slight bend in this. Oops, sorry. I kind of like that. That I do kind of like. All right. Should have Baby Yoda strapped to her back. Not really. Okay. Had to make her a bit hippier because, well, you know, she's had a baby already, so. Belts always tick me off because they interrupt the flow of the figure, especially on the female form. It drives me nuts. But I'll have to put one in eventually. Okay, I think this is more what I wanted. I'll lower that belt a little bit on her hips. I think that looks better. I'm going to get this foot turned the way I want it to. All right, let's baby skull instead. Technically, FS is still fairly recognizable at Marvel today, almost oddly recognizable compared to some of the other books. Let's see. I have a question. What does your family think of your career choice out of curiosity? That's an excellent question. It's, hey, Carrie Tarpley's here. Thanks for joining us, Carrie. All right. Well, my dad never got it until I started making more money than he did. And then he was like, my dad was a meat cutter, so, you know, he wasn't, you know, wealthy or anything, but we were going up to a Blazer game up in Seattle, and we were riding a Blazer bus. And I hadn't even broken into comics at this point. I was just working as a commercial illustrator in an art studio here in Portland. And I told him how much I was making. He was like, oh, well, I guess you made a good choice overall, you know. So he was like, that was kind of the bottom line for him, was how much money am I actually making? Because it took me a long time to uh, make even an average living at it. And it's always bugged my wife, because women tend to be, I'm going to go stereotypical here, but tend to be a little bit more security driven. And this is not a job that provides a lot of security, but managed to stay employed for, well, since 1990 in one way or another. But it's hard because you have nothing guaranteed. Of course, I don't believe anybody has anything guaranteed. You might have a regular job, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get laid off if something goes wrong or something. So, yeah, I like that hand. But yeah, you're constantly looking for your next job all the time. And so there is that kind of level of stress. And I have gone through periods in my career where I couldn't get any work. And that's one of the reasons I ended up at CrossGen, is because I could not get anybody to give me any work. And when I had gone about 3 months without anything, and they offered me, and I took it. My wife wasn't thrilled with moving to Florida, but we did it, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. And then I've been, ever since CrossGen, I've been steadily employed at either Marvel or DC. Till just recently, with all the craziness that's going on with AT&T just doing a hatchet job on DC, and a lot of speculation that Marvel's not far behind, that Disney's going to basically do the same thing over at Marvel. So independent comic publishing may be, if you want to keep doing comics, maybe the only way to do it. We'll have to see how it all sort of plays out. That was a rather long-winded answer to your question, but and I'm going to go in and finish this face. So let's zoom in here a bit. I just finished a Wonder Woman story that's just like a little 2-page thing, basically, that's going to appear on a popsicle box, in the back of a popsicle box, that I guess they're tying in with the movie or something. And it was really a lot of fun in it, but it occurred to me that probably more people are going to see this popsicle box story than anything I've ever done in my career. It's pretty amazing to think about that. That's why I do those things. That's why I took that Snickers ad. I don't know if you guys saw this. I posted on Facebook, but the Snickers ad I did with Shazam, Norm Rapman inked. I thought that was the coolest thing. I want to do a Snickers ad. I want to do a Hostess Pie ad really bad, but I don't know if they're a DC client anymore. in that regard. But I used to love those when I was a kid. You know, those little Hostess fruit pie ads, you know, and the superheroes, and you know, Jack Davis did a Spalding one for Spalding basketballs where they had Dr. J and Rick Barry on the playground with some kids, and that was pretty cool.
Oh,
So
look how festive it is.
Shelley is alive. You missed all the exciting stuff.
Oh, I missed the Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah, I told them that you'd gotten some shots for rabies and that you were out for a while.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. How funny. Good job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
it
there's
wasn't my best day.
So anyway, I sold some of the art, but not all the art. Which makes me think, before I ink this, I should let's revisit that and see what we've got left on the old art for sale before I ink this.
Hi, Johnny.
Let's take a quick break, shall we?
Oh.
From the drawing, I've got the Hulk left for $150. Again, if you're just joining me and you're like, whoa, I want that. Well, all you have to do is type in sold Hulk, and it's yours.
Do you have your list?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And we've got the Thing. That's $150. That's 9 by 12.
The thing.
So you'd type in sold Thing.
Sold, fine.
Now, these are not for sale. She's sold. She's sold. You'll find a pattern here. She's sold. And she's sold.
Ooh.
And she's sold. But sadly, he's not sold. And you can have him for $150. And this Green Goblin pen and ink is 11 by 14. It's bigger than the other ones, and that is available for $200. So you'd say,
so cool.
You'd say Green Goblin. You'd say sold Green Goblin, and then you'd get it. That's how it works. Of course,
how long did that take you?
It took me a lot of time.
I bet.
I stretched it out over a couple of days. I was just noodling around with it. I kept putting more and more liner
Were you
work on it.
noodling?
I was
I missed it?
Dang. Noodling.
I hate it when I miss the noodling.
Wait a minute. Hey, Shelley, airing of the grievances.
Yes. Later, the feats of strength I'm not up for today.
Yeah, me either. There's not going to be a lot of feats of strength going on here, but we are going to put up the metal pole.
But I learned a good lesson today. If you think it's not time.
It could be time.
For a bunch of injections. Don't let them do it. So we'll see what happens when you get a double dose of Botox in your head. Not on my face. I'm not that vain yet. Although I do color my hair.
It's for headaches, not for looks.
Yeah. And I kept thinking, I guess I'm airing my grievances right now. So I guess I am celebrating Festivus.
It's for the rest of us.
Well, it's my fault. I should have been able to keep track of time a little bit better. But we'll see what happens when you get a double dose of Botox for migraines. You can't tell me it's never happened before.
Okay, so we're back to
what are we doing?
We're back to Sue Storm.
Oh, this is the one where
I messed around with her leg again, her foot, while you guys were kibitzing. So
you have your you filled up your markers, so we don't have the issue of last time.
The markers are filled. Okay, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I super dig the detailed inking on that Green Goblin piece. Sold, Brian Tidwell.
Booyah!
Brian Tidwell is going to put his money where his mouth is, and I like that. I like that about you, Brian. Brian's got some of my sketchbooks, so he's.
My brother's name is Brian. Brian.
He'd always say inappropriate things. We'd go, Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so there we go.
The sister. Oh my gosh, you're so embarrassing.
Okay, Brian.
Oh, look how festive you are.
Send me $210 via PayPal. Let me click that up here, dude. Where is it? Buy Goblin. Yeah, well. Where is it? There it is. So if you're saying, how can I give Aaron money? This is how you give Aaron money.
Sure. Hi, Oscar.
So PayPal is aaron@aaronlepresti.com. You send me the money. You say, Aaron, this is why I'm sending you money, whatever the reason may be. And then here's my address so you can mail me the reason that I gave you money. So
whatever that might be.
Whatever that may be. If it's something I can mail you.
Oh, I wonder if people are like, I wonder if he's really like this.
All the time.
All the time.
All right.
And if I'm really as smart ass as I seem to be.
Apparently.
Yes, sir.
0.8. We're going in.
Don't forget to highlight her boobies. Yes. Oh. I'm sorry I told you I was going to help you. I suck.
I forgive you for your lack of help.
Mm,
I managed to carry the show fairly well.
good job. Hearing other grievances, I love that. I slept a long time. That's what happens.
Is Stephen Ing still in the house? You know, Stephen, if you are, if you're not, you know, but I'm going to say it anyway. I had a Snow White piece I was working on. I just did not get it done because I got a little ambitious with the Seven Dwarfs. So, I'm sorry, the 7 vertically challenged people.
Oh, goodness. There's just too many of them, or
Yes.
did you run out of time?
Well, that's what I mean. I just.
Oh, she's a quick one, Mr. Grinch.
You want to look at something interesting?
I do. Oh, I like this one.
Hang on a second. You guys, look at my shirt on the screen. It's blue, but this shirt is actually green.
What is up, HD? Well,
Trippy, man.
how it's reflecting the light or not good.
I don't know. It's totally bizarro world, man.
Are these just for you?
What? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing all this during, well, that was all during Halloween.
Mm.
She's going through my sketchbook.
We got a lot of pages. How did Sammy fill up a whole one of these?
It's pretty easy if you're getting assignments every day.
Mm.
What are you looking through?
Look.
Oh, the other one? Yeah.
Just mind your biz.
Well, you're minding my biz, so I'm trying to find out what that's going on.
You're all
over
up in
there.
my biz.
You're all up in my biz, man. So I was like, I'm trying to figure out what the heck's going on behind me. Look at that money come rolling in. Ding, 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 ding.
The probably going, this is the most silent time I've ever heard between these two.
She's looking through my portfolios without permission.
Did you draw these? Are these free?
Oh, wait a minute.
I know.
I'm going to show you guys this. This cost me $100. It's my daughter with Shazam dude. She's like a celebrity hound, and every time we go to a Comic-Con, she's like, "Oh, Dad, so-and-so's here. I gotta get a picture with him." I'm like, "How much? $100?" I'm like, "Ugh."
So you can get a picture with me for nothing.
That's right. So she got a picture with Shazam. You know what is it? I can't think of his name. What's his name?
Cutie Patootie? I don't know.
Yeah. And then he was also the voice for Flynn Rider. Entangled. And then she got one with Evangeline Lilly, also known as the Wasp.
Did she give her? She gave her a drawing. Did she?
Yeah. Well, she showed her a drawing.
Oh, she didn't give it to her?
No.
Mm. And she met
Shatner. That cost me $100 too, but I wanted that. And a signed autograph with Shatner.
We got kisses on the cheeks from Robin Hood from Once Upon a Time.
So if you weren't in HD, your shirt would be green. No, because it wasn't working in low def either. The color was always off. So I was hoping HD would improve the color accuracy, but it doesn't. It is improving the overall quality of the picture, but it's not. Thanks for answering my question. I asked because my stepdad assumes I won't make much money in art and animation, but that's why I keep a regular 9 to 5 in case something happens.
Well,
that's
you can hope.
I was.
It isn't an easy gig, let me tell you.
I was all in because I couldn't do anything else. So.
And that's what our daughter wants to do, and you got to support him. But wow, I really would have liked her to be a physical therapist.
Because we both need it.
That's why she saved me a ton of money. But yet, it's her path. She's got to walk it.
Well, if you can
majoring in dance and digital animation.
If you can hedge your bets, it's always wise.
What's on our? Oh, that's a nice question. What's on our Christmas wish list? Aaron just asked me that, and so I was Googling gift ideas, and I still have no idea. If I was going to be a smart Alec, I'd say a new spine, but what else do I need? Just a new neck.
Last year, I actually got an old comic book, which was nice. And that doesn't happen very often because if my son gets involved, he can grade comics very well, so he can guide my wife. But
you boss me around.
Yes, and I once got a Hulk Silver Surfer, Planet Hulk Silver Surfer diorama from Sideshow. That was cool. I don't know this year though. That's a good question.
I could be like Miss America and say world peace.
That's all you want for Christmas?
World peace.
Not sure I can pull that off. Dexter did. Remember? Because he ate that giant burrito and he thought he was going to die. And so he had this bucket. Yeah, he had this bucket list, and one of them was world peace. So and he told his mom and dad goodbye, and he just ripped a big one.
But she's like her father. Or Joshua is like me.
Yeah, he's the one with the good job. Engineering.
Well, that's not me. But.
Well, yes, he used his intelligence to get a good job. You used your intelligence to become a teacher.
Which, in retrospect, was a dumb idea. Yeah, physical therapy isn't a bad backup, but she thinks it's boring. Although she's been to a physical therapist one time.
I'm going to let you look at the Invisible Girl's lower extremities while I go grab a circle template.
All right, I'm going to sit before I fall over.
I don't want to...
Oh, you broke an ornament.
Yep.
Is that like 7 Christmases of bad luck? Wait, we've already had those.
Yeah, no, it's like 7 more. Darn it, where's my...
But you never know. She might finish her maybe double major and then go, thanks, Mom and Dad, but I'm going to go to nursing school, or I don't know. Her dream right now is to dance for Disney. She did an audition a couple years ago, and they asked her to come back when she was actually old enough to do it.
I don't know if that's actually her dream anymore, though.
No, that's what she's telling me.
Oh, is it?
She's going to dance for Disney.
If they ever open up again?
Yep. And then they told her they'd cast her as Anna. But that's when her hair was long, too. She chopped her hair off because she's now in Phoenix. Oh, don't tell him. Don't tell him I did that. Shh. Don't tell him I hit the camera. Okay.
Find my circle template. I just put it... I find that to be very irritating.
It's not over here?
No, I threw it in here.
Okay. Now, what would normally happen in a little Presty household is at this point, I would say, just let me look. And then I would find it. Which normally
Moms always look better.
Yeah, our Josh used to tell me I was a good looker. I could find anything. You want me to look?
Is it on the floor? Did the dog eat it?
Husker, did you eat it? Is that you? He tilts his head. I don't think so.
I got like 100 circle templates and not the one I'm looking for.
That is a sad story. What goes along with our airing of the grievances?
That's right. I'm going to start airing some grievances here in a minute. Yeah.
Welcome to my world, ladies and gentlemen. I think the funniest one, which wasn't funny at the time, was when he stood in front of the refrigerator and yelled, "Where's the mustard?" I think that was my favorite.
Are you kidding me? I did not. Did I do that?
He did.
Well, I couldn't find it, obviously, or I wouldn't have yelled it.
Because I have memorized the exact location of everything that's located in our refrigerator. You can't find it?
No, I
Do you want me to look?
Freaking thing.
Do you want me to look?
No, because you don't know what you're looking for.
I know what a circle is.
I need an oval template. And
Oval, you said circle. Oval, ellipse.
All right.
Different.
Well, I'm doing this by hand. The heck with it.
Right.
After all, it's a sketch.
Is this it?
Yep.
Is it?
No.
Oh, it was just right here. I thought that would be funny. All right. They are oval-ish.
I just did it by hand, so don't bother.
Well, now I have to find it. My OCD is going to be like, oh, you can't stop now. Oh.
Where's the mustard? That was me yesterday. So is this what married life is like?
Yeah.
That would depend on who you talk to. Oh my gosh, what did you just do?
Just fell to my death.
Knock over all my Christmas decorations that I spent minutes putting up.
On your greeting card boxes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you.
Where did you find this?
I told you guys.
Where was it?
I told you.
I don't need it now, but where was it?
It fell. It was right in front of your chair.
It was on the floor. Okay.
I'm much lower to the ground than you are. Is that what?
I don't know what
that is. That is hysterical. I told you guys. I told you I would find it. I'm a good looker.
Oh my
god. Good stuff.
Zoom in here on her face because I'm going back in there.
Thank you. Thank you. Married life. Well, yeah, I guess. Although the key, you just have to laugh every day, I think. Otherwise, you probably would have needed bail money or something by now. Buster, what are you eating? Oh, Lord.
What is that?
I have no idea.
This dog,
it's spongy stuff.
This dog finds stuff we don't even know we have and is eating it. We don't even know what it is. Like some sort of alien
puffy thing.
I don't know.
We'll go find some cushion that's gutted downstairs or something. Husker, seriously, killing me. Killing us all. I'm gonna get some water. Do you want anything?
No, I got water up here. Thank you.
Anybody else want some water?
Yeah, Shelly's going to the kitchen to get some mustard if anybody wants some. Okay. I guess now I can use this circle template to do some of these little circular things here. Johnny, we are here for your entertainment value. I should be using a 0.1, but I'm using a 0.3 because I forgot to change it. but normally I would use a 0.1 because Rodney wants to know what size pen are you using for the facial features. I'm using a 0.3, but I should be using a 0.1. It's all fun and games until you have to pull a rubber band out of the pupper's butt. Oh my gosh, isn't that the truth? Oh boy. I'm not a big honey. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I like honey mustard. I mean, who doesn't? But I much prefer the spicy brown mustard. Just saying. Christmas, whatever. Oops, I'm doing the bubble things around her hand. Okay, so now I actually do need the regular circle template that Shelly gave me and I left over there to do the other hand. Oops, just I'm knocking stuff over. It's going crazy. It's insane. Okay. Oops, earthquake. All right. Well, I guess that's as big as the circle's going to get because that's the biggest one I have in this template. I'm not going to go get another one. It's awesome. Okay, so in this particular outfit, I'm not going to go with the black one, but there was weren't the gloves and the neck and all that stuff, the boots were white, weren't they? And then this was blue, which is going to be gray because it's a gray marker sketch, but yay, Sue. Took us a while to get there, but we're there. We're going to erase the pencils because it seems like the prudent thing to do. Pink erasers, although I like using them to erase details, are not the best thing for erasing mass areas. But again, too lazy to go up and pick up the big white eraser. I wonder how Mariah Carey's doing right now. Probably not this good. All right, so let's go in and do her face, shall we? Let's. That means we're going to zoom back in. Hardest thing to, let's see. What was the hardest thing for you to learn to draw on people? Hands and feet. Good faces, though, are, I mean, you can draw a bad face, but you really want to draw good faces, and that takes a little bit of especially on a woman. You can get away with a little bit more ugliness on a guy. But faces are super important. Yeah. Let's see. You haven't tried spicy brown mustard? Seriously? I don't like mustard of any kind. Sorry, Mr. Grey Poupon. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. If your fans could give you anything for Christmas, what would you want, Mr. Lopresti? Comics excluded.
Oh, then nothing.
What else is there? No.
Original art.
Yeah, an eraser
Unless
brush.
it's comic book art, then that's out of the picture, I guess.
This is just a grayscale commission.
Well,
boy, I don't know.
money, I would get you custom cabinetry, like Carl Kiesel has for his had for his comic books.
Yes. I've always said, like, if I had like $1 million or something, or well, more than $1 million, but if I like won the lottery or something, I would probably go buy like a Frazetta painting. That would be my one big expenditure.
Spider-Man #1.
Now, if I had the choice between Spider-Man #1 and a Frazetta painting, I'd take the Frazetta painting.
I can see that.
But actually, if I won the lottery, I'd started my own comic company.
That would be, yeah.
That's exactly what I would do, and which is probably not the smartest thing in the world to do, but I'd do it.
I'd do it.
Well, if you won the lottery, you know, and you say, okay, I'm gonna put $5 million or $6 million towards this comic book company.
But if you only won 2, though.
And then, well, then you wouldn't do it. You'd have to win like, like mega millions. But the thing is, it's like if it would belly up, you wouldn't care because you still got the rest of your, rest of your earnings.
Although for you to win the lottery, you'd have to play it,
which I do not do because I do not waste my money on gambling.
I do. That's my money.
I work too hard to throw it away. So I'm going to throw it away. I'm throwing it away on old comic books, which is I guess, kind of a gamble, although I consider it an investment. So.
Yes. Hi, Jessica. Well, I'm sad to say that after tutoring calculus last night, she didn't feel like she did very well on her final.
That's
But
unfortunate.
she always feels that way.
Who are we talking about?
One I've been tutoring.
Oh. Yeah, I don't want to drop her name. That wouldn't be cool. Because you dropped your name on a live feed, say you didn't do well in your final.
But who does well on a calculus final, seriously?
I didn't. That's why I'm doing this.
Either. Somehow, they gave me a degree anyway. How long are you going to go?
I'm just going to finish this up. It'll be done. So another half hour probably.
Pain pills calling my name.
All right. Well.
Look how smooth my
I can't lift my eyebrows.
I was telling them though. I think this week did we go on our first date this week or next week? I think it was this week. 29 years ago.
Whether we started going out 29 years ago?
Was it?
We've been married
30.
28, so yeah.
Yeah.
Long time, folks.
We should do a before and after pick.
No. Let's see. Start a comic distributor first. Exactly. Am I at liberty to say what my future plans are in light of all the major changes at DC this past year? I'm at liberty to say that I'm doing nothing. So, as of right now, other than that popsicle ad, which I just finished. So I don't. I honestly, and it's sad to say this, but I don't hold out great hope that the comic industry is going to survive in the fashion that we're used to.
Yeah. Not when companies that own them are not comic book supporters or even have a clue what the industry used to be or should be.
Exactly. You said it. So I'll be looking at some independent publishing projects probably. I do have Garbage Man coming out next year in trade paperback, but that's a while off. Although I am finished with all the penciling I had to do on it already.
Well, maybe this is a good time to start playing the lottery then.
Now, this is a good time to really save your money.
Yeah.
And I've been living off commissions and errand cons for the last couple of months, which has worked out okay, and original art sales, which is fine.
He needed the break. His shoulders thrashed.
It's true. It is. And if my daughter was a physical therapist.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I get my neck worked on every day. I wouldn't have headaches all the time. Well, I probably still. It wouldn't be as bad.
Yeah, so I'm, but I've always got irons in the fire. That's one thing. Burned my hand, but.
No, it always. We've gone through bouts of it before.
Yep.
But that too, I think I was working. No, I wasn't working full time then. Was I?
Oh,
I did. Yeah, because then.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. Because then that's when you took the job at CrossGen and I didn't have to work anymore.
Yeah. So what's this? We're part of a Hallmark movie. So a guy finds a lottery ticket on the ground, ends up winning the lottery, runs his own Comic-Con. Yeah, that's a Hallmark movie. Where's the girl come in?
There's our future.
My mother, who lives with us, who's 90 or 89, she's in her room right now watching Hallmark movies, Christmas movies. So.
Which she watched in July as well, I think.
Well, I don't know if she watched Christmas.
Oh my
I don't know if
gosh.
she watched Christmas movies or not. These are new ones, and she gets mad because they don't come on until 10 o'clock at night. So she has to skip.
That's why her light has been on past midnight every night.
Yep.
Oh, she's a party animal.
So she's staying up to watch.
Oh, that is so funny. I'll have to tease her because I'm up, normally in pain. So I'm like, hey, I should go hang out with Mom in her adjustable bed and watch Hallmark movies.
Shelley, what was your perspective of the CrossGen years? Tell us some stories.
I wasn't really in the offices very often, only when he was trying to schmooze us, flying us down to do whatever. Because when we moved down there, our Sammy was a year old, so I was full on mommy mode. And then our Josh was in 3rd grade. So I just drove them around. And I homeschooled him for that last part of that year. So
yeah, because we transferred right in the middle of, or moved right in the middle of the school year. So
and he didn't want to go to a new school. So I said, all right. Plus, and then when we did get him in school, they wanted him to skip a year anyway. So we were like, ugh, whatever. Anyway.
Did you take him out when you're downstairs? Mm-hmm. Okay. Then why are you climbing on me? My dog is climbing on me.
Daddy. So CrossGen. Met some really cool people. I'm scared, dog. I'm still friends with some. Got to experience a hurricane, fire ants, a lot of wildlife. But I think if he had managed the product, I thought was really good because everybody was in-house and Aaron got to control all aspects of the book.
Well, the art
Yeah.
aspect of the book.
I just don't think he threw his money around way too
Foolishly.
But he kind of had that, I don't know, reminded me of kind of like a mobster kind of guy. Right? Like, I don't know. Thought he was all that, I guess. But
He's no longer with us, you know.
did not know that. I feel bad now. But
Not sure what he died of.
I'm glad that we did it because your career was better for it.
It was. It really.
And it was kind of cool living across the country from everything that and really forced us to kind of go, oh, we got to figure this out for ourselves. And that was before nationwide long distance on cell phones. So I never got ragged on to my parents because it was long distance. That was pleasant. No, I shouldn't say my parents. My mom never called to yell at me across the country. That was kind of fun. And we were kind of like we lived in a town called Holiday. And we were definitely Little Presty's Holiday Inn. Our guest room got a lot of use. Funny how that works when you're living in Tampa.
So everybody wants to come and visit.
Yeah.
That's funny. Terry and Rachel came and visited us. We were in Florida more than they come and visit us here.
Oh my gosh, that's right. More airing of the grievances. I got a lot of them.
No, not.
I don't know. I think I wasn't thrilled when the original plan came up about moving.
No, she
So
wasn't.
I did make some demands. So it was our 10-year wedding anniversary. I said, I want bling. I'm not working. And we're building a house. And he said, all right. And I was like, dang it.
Now I have to go.
I should have asked for more. No. But we did well in the house. And then looking at it all of like the financial, and I got to stay home with the kids. And I taught aerobics in the mornings and then had my days free. But Aaron really is one of the hardest working men in comic books. And so at the end, he would be at CrossGen all day and then come home and draw another page of X-Men.
Well, that was after CrossGen was going under.
But we knew they were going under, but you were still working.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was working for Marvel and CrossGen at the same time in the last
Months.
couple months. Yeah, last few months. 6 months, actually, maybe. Well, yeah, that's right. Because they went under, though. We were still there.
Yeah. We had great neighbors. Oh, the best neighbors.
Yep. Best neighbors we've ever had.
Ever.
Not that our neighbors here are bad, in case they're watching.
Oh, yeah.
They're not.
No. In fact, neighbors across the street
Yeah,
helped
actually,
paint your studio.
that's true. I was out of town. That was quite nice.
And I think by then I'd only had 2 back surgeries. So,
It was just bad timing.
yeah. Now that I've had 4, there'll be no painting in my future. But after that, it was nice to see that you got some better gigs, I guess, and more recognition that I thought you deserved. And that's when I was still like, I'd go to Comic Cons and just be like, this is so, I want to say amazing and weird all at the same time.
Yeah, well, it was amazing and weird.
Now they're just so normal to me that
She doesn't
kind of
go.
like our second families when we see everybody at the cons.
That is kind of true. So you have like
I
your.
did that for John in Casey's. No,
He was on there for a
was
while.
he?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you get to see the same people year after year, and we've been doing this forever. So,
Hey, he's in. Ike is in Clearwater.
oh, nice.
It's not far away from where we were at.
Can I ask if you're a Scientologist? Since that's their big headquarters. I'm not making fun. I was just.
Yeah, she is.
What else? But too, what was nice for me about Florida was that where I grew up is where we bought our first house. So, and my dad was a Ford dealer when I was growing up, and I'm an identical twin. And so everybody that knew me associated me with that. It was always the pair of us. And when I was in Florida, I didn't really tell people unless my sister came to visit. And then of course I had to say, oh yeah, my genetically identical twin. But yeah, it was kind of nice to actually be known just as me versus the duo as well on a private note, I guess.
Getting psychologically deep here. Watch out.
So they're going to start charging you for therapy. But it was I think the best part across it was you got benefits and vacation and
Yeah, it was like a real job.
Yeah.
Which was so foolish because I knew it would never work. But it was nice while it lasted.
For us because that's why I taught full time, was to get the benefits and stuff. Well, that's not the only reason I taught, I guess. That's nice. Those colors are
Well, it's gray. That's
oh my gosh. That's probably the dumbest thing that's ever come out of my face.
Well, those colors look exactly right on screen. Well, it's because they're
Oh.
gray.
Oh, I'm almost embarrassed. Yes. Oh yeah. So yeah, we did all that touristy stuff over there because it was much cheaper. Yeah, Clearwater holiday.
Sponge docks.
Yeah, Gator Country. Oh my gosh.
Guy across the street had a gator in his yard.
So this is where you're at now. What's in Portland?
Riots.
Rioting,
Dumb people. Ooh.
information of property.
Not all dumb people. Some dumb people are here.
No, we live outside of Portland. We're about what, 20 minutes from downtown Portland?
Yeah,
But
good
there's
traffic
not really
there.
a lot. I mean, there's a lot of wineries. People go visit wineries, and what do we do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
We do these.
Yeah. We deal with a lot of rain.
I spend most of my time here driving my kids around, my daughter especially.
That's true. Well, she'll be 19 in 2 weeks.
Maybe she'll get her driver's license
Yeah.
eventually.
She might drive. Oh. Brian, yeah, silly business expenses, I think. Yeah, the bullpen idea, it was a really good idea, but like he flew us down there just to pick out colors for our house. It was like they could have just sent us samples. It would have been a lot cheaper.
Yeah, we sort of took advantage of the opportunity, or the offer.
Mm-hmm. I think we did Disney World for like $600 for all of us that time.
Yeah, when you don't have to actually fly down there to go to Disney World, it's kind of nice.
Luggage walks in your backyard. That's for sure. So we were just north of Tarpon Springs. Like there's one road that basically is the county line, and we were just over that road because we were probably Andy Smith was what, less than 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so when we had the hurricane and we lost power, they didn't. We just go hang out with them and swim in their pool. Plus, we didn't have a pool. Our community had a pool, but not us.
I think Sergio Corella was still in the same house. You know, Sergio?
Yeah.
Like he was like a block away from us.
Yeah, we liked our house too.
I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm putting a little blue on here because it's just kind of easy.
All right, now look at the.
Yeah, it's not showing.
And it's very, very faint.
I often do this. I'll lay in the values underneath, and you can color over
Sorry.
the top of it, and all your shading and stuff is already there. So. I shouldn't be doing extra work on this since I redrew it twice, but
Oh, yeah, we had always had something to do in Tampa. Plus, you weren't trying to stay out of the rain and. Oh yeah, I'd come though. Vegas. My daughter had a nationals dance competition in Henderson.
I'm softening the lines on the pencil
What did we
there.
say? It was like
Henderson.
Green River, no, Green Valley, Green
I don't know.
Goblin. I don't know.
I don't know. I do not know.
But I don't mind Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas is actually really nice where they built it up and it's modernized and stuff. I was surprised, like the suburban areas.
But I think that people forget that even though you're living in a place that they consider, oh, that would be cool, you still have life you have to take care of. Like my sister would come visit and be like, oh, let's go to the pool, let's go to the beach. And I go, yeah, I got laundry to do and I got to feed kids. And yeah, I still have to have a life here and take care of business, take our son to karate and whatever. So yeah, they forget that, like for us, it's just maybe a little bit boring, but we did take her to Disney World with us.
Mm-hmm.
And your parents came a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
I think my dad only came once. He's not a big fan of flying. My mom,
Point
a
one.
few times.
Yeah, she was there twice, I
I
think.
think my sister came 7 times, and that was about 6 times too many. Oh, ba-dum. Yeah, when people came to Portland, we're like, hey, let's go to Voodoo Donuts. Oh, wait, we can't now. How about Pal's Bookstore? Oh, wait, no. Can't do that now. What would we do if someone's, hey, can I come visit?
I would say we don't even have a place to put you because we don't. We don't even have a guest room.
Yeah, we do. My chick cave. There's a bed in it. It's a twin, and Sammy's not here, so we have that room. But, well, like when Paul and Linda came, usually when people came for the Portland Comic Con, that's when they would find, we're not that far from going whitewater rafting, Eastern Oregon.
Yeah, if you like outdoor stuff.
From the gorge.
If given the opportunity, what character would you like to have to draw in the DC Dark Universe? Scott, I don't even know what characters are in the DC Dark Universe.
I didn't. What's the Dark Universe?
Well, I think it has to do with that dark multiverse stuff that I did with Blue Beetle, and I guess.
Really?
I don't have any idea. Is that metal crossover thing? I mean, I really honestly don't know. Isn't that terrible? I only paid attention to stuff I was working on, to be honest with you. But really, the truth is I really don't have favorite characters anymore because I've drawn so many of them, and it's just whatever you're working on ends up being unless it's something really lame, ends up being your favorite character. Mm-hmm. Like I used to hate Booster Gold until I started doing Justice League International, and he became like one of my favorite characters to draw because I just really started to understand the character, and I drew him so much that it was just...
He felt like family.
Yeah. And now when he shows up and I get to draw him someplace, I'm like, oh yeah, me and Booster, we go way back.
Can you go for chicken? Oh, I was going to go take a paintball. It involved me defying gravity.
Well, someone asked you a question before you could get out the door, and then you got roped in.
But no, coming from a upbringing of choose something safe, always do something safe. I guess I'll be a teacher, okay, because my dad told me to. To this whole world of, what? What do you do? Like Richie Rich stuff? What?
Yeah. You draw comics like in the newspaper? No.
What are you, 12?
That's what she said. She told me that she thought.
Head,
She's like, when she first met me and I told her I do comic books, she's like, what are you, 12? So there you go.
But I was teaching middle school at the time, so I figured, oh well, maybe I can get him to do stuff for Tootsie Roll too.
Thanks, Paul. Paul says
Yeah.
something nice. We'll put him up on screen here. I loved your Metamorpho. Blue Beetle was excellent too. Loved Ditko, Ted Cord, of course. Thank you.
We know Paul.
Yeah, well, he's an engineer. I don't know if you met him or not at the.
Looks familiar.
I see him at San Jose cons and Portland cons all the time.
Huh.
I'll just bring you a pillow and sleep under
Engineer.
Aaron's desk.
Serious. Well, we used to when we first were together. I'd go to Comic Cons. I'd make sure. I remember once I was feeding him as he was. That was like our second San Diego, and I'm feeding him nachos because he's not stopping to eat or anything. Well, even now I'll have to say, stop, go get somebody to eat, go to the bathroom, come back. But that's when I stayed at the table all the time. And
Now she stays at the hotel.
well, it depends on where we're at. Like the one we went with Terry and Rachel to New York. I just went to shows with Rachel.
Yeah, and stranded me and Terry at the con.
Well,
It was
you know.
snowing out, and they were out.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I remember they came back in the middle of the day, in the middle of the show. We go, hey, what's up, you guys? And they're like, we need some more money. Yeah, so they collected cash from us and then left. That was it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I remember I was so excited because we lived in Florida and I knew it was going to be cold in New York. And I was like, oh my gosh, I get to wear a coat. I get to break out the sweaters. Yay.
Yeah, that's right. We flew. Did we?
Yeah, cause
They came.
I got so sick and I was afraid they wouldn't let me on the plane. So I hid behind the thing.
But they came down to visit us, and then we went up, didn't we, from Florida? Or did we just meet them in New York? No,
we
no.
met them.
Yeah, you're right. You met them there.
Yeah, because that was for the New York show that got. No, wait, no.
No, that was Paul and Linda. We got
That
snowed
got
out.
canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were at Paul and Linda Ryan's house, and we were supposed to drive to Fred Greenberg's show in New York.
Oh
And
my
it got
gosh.
that's the one that got snowed out, and then he went bankrupt because of it.
So did you have fun in Dortmund? Those 2 trips that we've done to Germany have been, oh my gosh, the best. In fact, we're still really good friends with the people that we met on our first trip. That was when we flew to Stuttgart for Panini.
Yeah, for the Panini show.
But yeah, those were, I love Germany. And it sounds really dumb. I was kind of sad because my entire life I've been obsessed with all things French, and I speak French, and some rooms are decorated, Eiffel Tower, La Tour Eiffel, and all that. And then we get to Germany, I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. And the language doesn't sound like it does on TV, because here we hear German and it sounds, I call it Hitlerized, kind of, and it was a beautiful language and really fun. Oh yeah. Yeah, I had this idea growing up that I would have married some French guy and was living in the south of France, and I don't know, sipping wine and eating cheese, le fromage, and
Well, we do eat cheese.
yeah. Oh, I don't know if I can go to Japan. I wouldn't eat the food, but I'm sure I could find a Burger King or McDonald's. That's a long flight. Those flights, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing is those flights.
I have blood clot issues, and it's just stressful. But
We went to Hawaii recently, which was nice. We had a fun time.
oh my gosh, that was great. Yeah.
For a show, of course.
Yeah, our kids asked once if we could ever travel that wasn't comic book related. And we're like, nope.
Got to write it off, or we're not going. Hey, look at that. So I outlined her with the dark pen, not a dark crystal. We don't want to confuse that.
That's the worst thing ever created, dark crystal. Vomitous. It's horrible and creepy.
Wait a minute, I thought Wizards was the worst thing ever.
Oh gosh, that's a toss-up, really. Although I don't think Netflix has done anything with.
No, they have not come back with Dark Crystal season 2 or whatever.
Scott, yep. So to south of France, I'm in South Portland. But you know how you have those things like, oh, this is what it's going to be like. Great Italian. Well, then I could do that, Paul.
All right, I think that turned out relatively well for me wearing a Santa hat the whole time.
Those ovals, I mean, they're all really good. I'm not.
Those are circle templates,
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
We found that, don't we?
The good looker.
So we'll sign off here. We'll sign this off.
What time are we hanging out tomorrow?
Tomorrow the festivities begin at 4. This has been a pretty good, let's see, we started at 6, so almost 3 hours of epic BS and drawing. Risto's Mix 3D and a Wheel of Parm. I don't even know what the heck that means.
A Wheel of Parm.
Is there a name for this outline technique? Yeah, it's called the Lopresti technique. No, it's I don't know. It's referred to, I guess, as a dead line weight because there's no. In other words, the line, there's no line weights on it. It's just a bold outline. But I don't know that you want to go back to Mucha. I don't have any idea. That was just part of, his Art Nouveau style. I don't know if that's necessarily. Thank you, Jiminy. I don't know that there's a style other than just being part of what you're referring to in Mucha. I do it because when I start markering up over like I do, it tends to dull the black. And so I go back over to punch up the line work. But I do like the way it looks, but you're right. That's a Mucha style, and I guess Adam Hughes does it to a certain degree. So I don't know, maybe I stole it from him.
So airbrushing, he actually has a great setup for airbrushing that his parents got him, but it's never been turned on.
I haven't airbrushed since I was in college. When I was in film school down at USC, I picked up a summer job. I was like one of those guys who you see in the movies that like lies about what they can do, and then they get hired to do it, and then they just, do whatever they can to sort of pull it off.
Aaron is not Jean-Luc Picard.
I am now with my nose isn't quite as big, but my head is as bald. So yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I came back to the airbrush question. So I got hired to do this. It was this place called the Donut Stop. It was right on the corner.
Oh, sorry. Because they're still.
I'm right in the middle of the story.
I'm sorry. Gosh, my bad. More grievances.
Okay. So it was right on the corner of Highland and Hollywood, and the little mall is still there. I don't know what's in there, but there was a place called the Donut Stop, and then it was a donut place, obviously, and then it had another like deep fry area where you could get lunch and stuff, right? But it was just like they had hot grease in there all the time and oil, and so they were like, we need something that we can wipe off. So we couldn't use I couldn't use anything that would that cleaner would take off or soap and water would take off. So get a load of this. If you know anything about airbrushing, I airbrushed these signs with cartoon characters on them with latex enamel paint through an airbrush. That was messy and brutal, but I did it, and it actually turned out okay. But it ruined the airbrush.
Didn't we see the actual pieces while we were there? Yeah,
it was still there when we were. We went movie poster shopping with Terry and Rachel. We went to LA in '95 just to go to Hollywood Boulevard and like buy movie posters. Then we went to the beach, I think.
I don't know, but
for like 2 hours.
Okay.
But the whole time.
95. That's a long time.
I know. We went to Universal Studios.
That's when I had the haircut you liked.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And then and we posed in the Star Trek photo. We all had
the Jurassic Park one.
And the Jurassic Park one, that's right. And we had like green screen set up, and we would,
He had to be Captain Kirk.
No, Kirk was in there. We all had the red uniforms.
We all were in the red shirts. We were going to die then.
Yep. But anyway, so we went there in 95 when they still had movie poster shops on Hollywood Boulevard and around the corners on the off, side streets. And that the signs I did in film school, which was like, well, it wasn't actually that long ago because it would have been 88 that I did the signs, 87. And we were there in 95. So it wasn't even, it was 8 years later. So, but yeah, they're not there now. But I airbrushed enamel paint, which is, I don't think that's what it's made for.
I think tomorrow you should do some of your favorite toys. A little tour of the store.
Roscoe Davis, 95. You say I was 3. Thanks a lot.
Oh, so it's
That's pretty helpful.
He's the same age as Josh then, pretty close.
And Josh
he could be our child.
Well, Josh was born in 93.
Well, yeah, but so he was 3. Josh would have been
2. Yeah, so, very close.
Gosh, there's just some things in life that make you go, wait, I'm old. In my head, I'm kind of like a 12-year-old. Physically, I'm like a 90-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're both sort of that. I was lifting a boxer stand and hurt my back. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not 18 anymore. I need to stop doing technique. That. All right, guys, that is going to about wrap up this show. So tomorrow I'm going to do Deadpool. Whee!
Ryan Reynolds is going to be here?
Yes, and he's going to be cracking jokes and they're going to make us look stupid.
Make us. Yeah, you'll actually be funny.
Camera. Shelley walked right into that.
I got nap head and.
Well, go over here then, because I'm.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Hey guys. See you later.
Here's my hat. My Santa hat. It's cutting off the circulation in my brain, apparently.
That's the problem.
And
at least you put your banners up today.
Yeah, I know. Look, and I got my little decorations, and I'm quite happy with myself. Laugh all out. I was 25. You were 25 when? In 95? You're still younger than me, but let's. Oh, Shelley, I'm going to get you in candy again. No, okay. I'm not. I just want to show my candy cane lights again. She's hiding. See, she's hiding behind the
eyeball.
I
might make an appearance tomorrow.
Back with me. All right. So before I tune out for the evening, let's do this one last time and remind everybody that everybody that's still here. There's still 30 people watching. That's amazing. I hate to go to bed. Well, I'm not going to bed, but I hate to turn this off with 30 people watching. But remember now, we've got this for sale at $150 still available. That's still available, and that's still available, all at $150 a piece. It's just an outrageously good deal. I don't even know what else to say. Anyway, so there you go. Oops. There we go. Back to me. So anyway, I want you to take a good long look at my blue shirt because it's actually green, and I just can't explain why that is, but I wonder if it has to do with the green screen that you can get for this. The green doesn't, because like this color back here, didn't mean to touch her boob. This color back here is exactly right. This is what it looks like in my studio. Same with this. It's exactly right. But the green, for some reason, it's not even close. I mean, this shirt is green. It's remarkable. So anyway, so yeah. So let me do this real quick. If anybody, what's my favorite Christmas film? This is A Grinch Who Stole Christmas. The animated version constitute a film. If not, It's a Wonderful Life, probably. Okay, he says, wait a minute here. Before I go, we got to address this. Scale modelers will use enamel sometimes in an airbrush, but thinned way down. Okay, yeah, well, I did not do any of the thinning. So you live and learn. Why is the green looking blue? I don't know. I have no answers for that. Okay, so anyway, tomorrow we're going to be back at 4 o'clock. We're doing Deadpool. You guys, if you want a sketchbook, hit me up, message me, whatever, and get on the list because I don't have anything. I don't have any sketchbooks lined up for tomorrow. So, and I may also have room for another commission if someone wants one of these like the Sue Storm I just did. So anyway, there you have it. That is Aaron's Christmas Con 2020 day 1 in the books. So I will see you guys back here hopefully tomorrow at 4, where I'm going to be drawing Deadpool and maybe something else. You just never know. But thanks for joining me. And until then, let me bid you farewell and a very Merry Christmas. Thank you and good night.